Bonjour everyone, welcome to another Diecast Showcase. Today I thought I'd do the second episode of um, basically a video I did a while back that I entitled Best in Pairs. So basically diecast vehicles that when put together go actually really well together, either by theme, by the type of car, by just things that go well together. And I thought I'd do a second episode of such, and thought I'd do exclusively Hot Wheels Premium. So I mean, it's going to be a quick episode. Just a few pairs of cars basically that I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to start off. No particular order, but two that go well simply because they're two different generations of uh, same model. Definitely models that are quite, have a really interesting pedigree and are well loved the world throughout. So first one I'm going to show you is the instigator of the said lineup, which would be this really nice 1992 BMW M3, the E30 generation from the most recent Modern Classics release. I believe this is a third wave, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I think Hot Wheels did a really great job on this car because the basic versions of this car unfortunately don't have front and rear tampos, which are often sacrificed in the name of some type of livery. The Polizei release from a couple of years back being a perfect example of this. And I love this one because the choice of the mesh style real riders are an excellent choice. Era correct, OEM correct, even a bladed diameter that's much larger, motorsport correct. Even in the tuning world, the BBS, RS, and LM wheels have been used and abused on this model. Um, so this one is really well done. Not a whole lot I can say negative about this, except for the fact that could maybe have used a little bit more metallic of a color as opposed to the gloss black that they chose, which would be more reflective of the OEM paint available at the time. But I mean, that's a very small complaint. Thank you, Mattel and Hot Wheels, for including rear view mirrors on this car. Definitely appreciated. Great casting overall. I mean, I definitely like it. Definitely like it a lot. And the counterpart of this would be my favorite generation of M3 personally, probably just because I grew up with the generation of BMW, but the E36 M3. Now, as opposed to the E30 casting, which is fairly recent, this is an old casting from the early 2010s, and I have a small gripe against this casting, which would be the fact that the front lip is awfully high off the ground, in my opinion. Tampo work is decent. I mean, the headlights aren't great, but better than not having front tampos. Rear is very well done. Nothing I can say there in regards to how they executed the rear tampos. I'm kind of surprised that they decided to put the amber turn signals on the rear, but did decide to put the clear side markers on the front, which is kind of weird, especially for this modified version, which kind of emulates, I guess, the M3 GT type, um, with the bigger wing in the back and, maybe slightly more pronounced wheel arches. Wheel arches definitely aren't anything be a stock A36 in any iteration would have offered from factory. But that big wing actually was available on the M3 GT via the risers there. Um, Not exactly the same style, but pretty close to it. Again, we've got that same gloss black paint. It's a pretty nice car. The aero discs are pretty period. I mean, they look like Ronal wheels, which were pretty popular in the late 90s, early 2000s on these cars. The turbine style wheels, or aero disc wheels, however we'd like to call them. Um, Now, this casting, obviously being older, does not have rear view mirrors, but again, besides the height of the front lip, or lack of low, and the absence of rear view mirrors, it's pretty much the only two complaints I could make about this cast. Otherwise, extremely nice, and they do look great together. In views of the fact that they kind of match in regards to color and whatnot, and their subsequent BMW M3 generations with the original and the successor. So, yeah, very nice pair. Which sounds bad, but hey. Next up, these are actually two from the same series that were released simultaneously. I believe I've showed them quickly in the past, but I will actually show them again. And this would be the following pair. The Gran Turismo Entertainment Series LM cars. So you got the Porsche 956 or 962. I'll check that out in a second. And the Mazda 787B. So we're talking about really, really iconic race cars. Awesome pedigree on either or of these models. And I like the fact that not only are they from the same release based on the same video game, but they also have contrasting cards and to a certain extent contrasting paint jobs as well. Now you'll notice a Porsche on the left definitely has a Rothmans inspired livery, which is period correct, mid 80s, definitely a winning livery. Obviously it's written racing instead of Rothmans because I'm pretty sure it would not go down too well if a cigarette brand, Ablate, now defunct, was actually applied as sponsorship on a diecast car, which was, although it's a collector item, meant to be a toy on the get-go. You've got the classic GT livery on the Mazda. So basically we're talking about the livery that was, I believe, introduced probably in GT4 with the Ford GTLM car, and coincided also with the release of the R35 GTR, which was in the same livery. I actually do have a 143 scale of that car that came with the collector's series, the pre-order collector's series of GT4. I started playing Gran Turismo even before Gran Turismo 1 was released through a demo disc that was included in a magazine. Me and my best buddy at the time played that demo, over and over and over again, and spent countless hours playing it once the actual game came out. Same thing for Gran Turismo 2. I actually have both Gran Turismo 1 and Gran Turismo 2 still, as well as a PS1 and PS2. So, yeah, big Gran Turismo fan. Kind of don't really play video games that much anymore, but it's got the nostalgia factor for me. If we take a look at them individually, we'll start the Mazda. So this is pretty much the only vehicle ever run in Le Mans in the prototype segment that would have been equipped with a rotary engine. This would have been a naturally aspirated four-rotor engine, and due to its lightweight and the fact that rotaries are actually much more reliable than one would think in NA form versus turbocharging, because it ablates a lot of the cooling issues or heat soak issues. This is actually a winning car before it was outbanned. So yeah, pretty cool. I like it. Again, Gran Turismo black, matte black, with the white detailing. Front end is spectacular. I really like the front end of this car. It's very well rendered. You lose a bit of the details because of the black paint. 5 spokes aren't necessarily all that accurate, but they still look good. This one does have a slightly crooked wing, which I'm assuming out of package would be fixable. Assuming. But yeah, doesn't really bother me that much because I don't think these will come out of the package anytime soon. So Great stuff. Really great stuff. Epic car. Especially recognizable in the Renown livery, which is the orange and green livery that everybody knows when they think of the Mazda Le Mans cars. So great stuff. Great stuff. And well, this one needs no introduction. It's a Porsche, so obviously I love it. So correction, 962. Which is kind of weird because the 962 would be a later iteration of the 956 and 962 series, and the Rothman livery was definitely run on the 956. But then again, you know, we are talking about a car with a livery that cannot be accurately reproduced, and a casting that was already existent. Not sure what the first iteration was with Hot Wheels. Assuming maybe it would have been with Team Transport, potentially. Maybe that Momo Team Transport. I did show that one off a little bit. I think that would have been the first iteration of this casting, but nevertheless, very, very nice piece. Aero disc perfectly chosen. As real riders, they are very period correct. And yeah, very, very nicely done livery. Third pair that I will show you, and this is probably, in my humble opinion at least, the best duo Hot Wheels Premium, at least the best I own, and in my opinion probably the best that is out there that has been released, you know, ever. But that's just me. And we'd be talking about this pair right here. So we are talking about two cars from two different series released in 2 different years. And we're talking about the Volkswagen T1 bus, as well as the Porsche 911, both in Urban Outlaw livery with the classic Magnus Walker 277 on the side. So this the T1 is from the Boulevard series, whereas the Porsche is from the Door Slammer series. So I do have the complete Door Slammer series. I don't think I have the full Boulevard series of this wave. Yeah, I'm not a collector of the Bone Shaker, so never picked that up. And the 67 Camaro, I have so many variations. I did not pick that one up. Not really regretting either or. Heavy hitters for me were the R33 GTR, obviously, being a Nissan fan, and that lifted 83 Silverado, which I believe is my third Hot Wheels square body that I was able to pick up. So yeah, pretty solid lineup for this series. Bus itself, you know, if we exclude the GTR, is definitely my favorite. Love the. I have a few variations of these. Love the stance. Love the wheel choice. Those little Compomotive / Watanabe / Panasport kind of wheels. Chrome lip with the gray spokes. You know, you got the checker on the top with the Urban Outlaw logo. Again, the Union Jack style Urban Outlaw logo on the side, kind of like a mix of Union Jack and Monte Carlo or whatever rally racing old school tag. Got the Outlaw stripe on the bottom. T1 with the 277. You got some tiny little. Obviously, you got the CAL, which I'm assuming is for California, on that bottom of that door, as well as the British flag. Well done details on the front. Well done details on the back, with a license plate. And overall, tough to say it's my favorite variation of this that I have, but it's darn close if it isn't. So now let's look at the Porsche a little bit more in detail. Porsche 911 71. Not a huge fan of the wheel choice, honestly. Really would have liked the reverse Fouche wheels that was released, I believe, in the RLC Magnus Walker Black 911. Those would look really good on here. But overall, you know, you've got the classic red, white, and blue, the Porsche band across the bottom. You got a few little sponsor stickers there. Some of which emulate what we saw on the bus. Windows are the windows are tinted black, and the rear lights are part of the glass portion of the casting. Now, obviously, they are black because they're not individually tinted red. You've got some rear view mirrors on this one. Q1 doesn't, but the vehicle's old enough that you know, technically it could go without. Although on the card art there is A-pillar mirrors. So, yep. So you got again sponsor, a little bit of sponsoring there. Porsche Owners Club on the top, you know, Urban Outlaw also. Better view of that logo on the top there. But overall, great series. Yeah, and they're very, the Porsche's kind of like the Outcast. Not to make a play on words of the Outlaw, because if you look at the other cards and the other cars in this series, I mean, all four would be epic to see on track altogether because they're natural rivals. Alfa Romeo, BMW, 510, the Escort. They're all part of the same bunch. So yeah, really like that. Last comparison we're going to be doing today, we're going to be checking out two other models, and these are a little bit more girthier, let's just say. I thought I'd pull out, since we're in the Hot Wheels Premiums, two Team Transport that are, in my opinion, a little bit overlooked, or maybe not as prized as they should be. Let me show you what I mean. These two are definitely not the most desirable Team Transports, right? But I find they go super well together, and personally, I really like them. I picked these up when they were released. So you got the Hakosuka Skyline 2000 GTX, as well as the wide body Fairlady Z, both with the Sakura Sprinter Fantasy truck, which I find really cool because it does really look like an 80s JDM truck that you would actually see at the track. You know, both of them are really well-known casts if we're talking about the cars. I mean, there's such a wide variety of variations of the Skyline, even more so for the Fairlady Z, and that's excluding the 240Zs, you know, the US version, the Datsun versions. But I mean, look, the Nissan livery on the truck for the Z works so well. Great livery, and the JDM Legend livery for the Skyline. Well, you know, it's definitely part of car culture. You know, so it fits within the branding the Hot Wheels wants for these Team Transports. You know, these are this specific one, the JDML Skyline. I really like the fact that you've got the spin on the classic PMCS racing livery that was used in period when these were racing in the early 70s, and you know, the oil cooler and the front light covers. The wheels are a great choice, little Watanabe style wheels, the RS8 style wheels with the red spokes, chrome lip. Perfect wheel for this, so happy they didn't go with the 4-spoke on this one. And also the Z I really like. It's one of the two premium versions I have, the other one being in that Nissan set. This one's got more of a surprisingly enough, it's got more of a USDM vibe to it. I find via the paint job. And you've got these tiny 5-spokes that kind of look like you know, the slot wheels, and it's kind of hard to see there, but these wheels I see commonly on I have got a bunch of Dodge vans, premium Dodge vans that have these, so I really like very, very nice set. So yeah, I mean, they go super well together. Definitely not the most sought after, and I'll definitely be showing off a little bit more of my team transports that I have eventually. But I'll just conclude this showcase here. You know, this is probably my favorite pair of the bunch, and hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. What was your favorite pair in these little die-cast icons? So if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Always appreciated. Subscribe to be advised of future content. As mentioned, feel free to comment your feedback in the comment section as well. On that, I will bid you farewell. Wish you happy hunting. Thank you for viewing, and take care. Bye bye.